Welcome to Inside Lake Forest. I'm Eileen Luby, your host, and today we're visiting at the Market House on the Square, where they do things a little differently, so let's step inside. Hi Mark, how are you today?
Hey. Welcome.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure to be here at the Market House on the Square, and Mark WESTCOTT and your wife Carla are the owners here. Mark, tell me about how you got involved in the restaurant business.
It's kind of an interesting story. I've been looking for a different business to be in. I've been an options trader for the last 15 years down in Chicago Board Options Exchange, and kind of had enough of that and the train and commuting and all that, and was looking for something that was local. And I learned that this restaurant was available, and I've always been interested in the restaurant business, and it looked like an exciting thing to do. It's 3 minutes from my house, and so my wife, myself, and a number of Lake Forest investors all pulled our money together when we bought the restaurant and bought the building, and so here it is.
Fabulous. Now, this used to be Southgate. Now it's Market House on the Square. Where did you come up with the name? Do you have any history behind that?
We had a group of people just kind of sit around and talk about lots of different things about, the name of the restaurant, the concept that we wanted to have, the kind of things we wanted to do, serve food-wise and service-wise, and because we're off of Market Square, that theme kind of really stuck because we wanted, if nothing else, we're a local restaurant. And so to kind of take a name that reminded people where we are and who we are, that kind of made sense for us. So we started with Market House on the Square, and it seems like it's worked really, really well. I think it speaks to who we are and the type of restaurant we have and the kind of food that we do.
I would definitely agree. As being a diner here myself, let's talk about some of the renovations you did to this historic building, and even speak to some of those historical aspects.
Right. I don't know if everyone knows, this used to be a firehouse and a police station. In fact, it dates back prior to automobiles, so there were horse-drawn fire trucks in the main dining room, which we'll look at in a second. So it's well over 100 years. We decided to renovate it and kind of bring it into the 21st century or whatever you might want to say. And we had a great guy named Mark Nauer who has done a number of different restaurants. He lives in Lake Forest. He's a local guy as well. He helped kind of come up with the concept and the looks and everything, and this is how it turned out.
Yeah, it's definitely great bar atmosphere. Obviously, we're here during the daytime, so I can just imagine the ambiance at night with a couple of cocktails and your bartender here stirring and shaking some martinis. So definitely a little bit of a night feel here as well with the great TV. Let's take a look at the dining room and talk about that.
Okay.
Great. So Mark, here in the main dining room, talk to me about how warm this place is. We've got the fireplace and the artwork, the wonderful lanterns, a lot of wood.
Yeah, that was really our goal. Is we wanted to create a really warm, inviting atmosphere in this portion of the restaurant, and I think we really got that. Between the wood, we repaneled the ceiling, so it's got that nice, rich kind of amber tone to it. They had lots of pictures on the walls, so it just feels like a comfortable place. And we added the fireplace too, which we thought was a really nice addition. It adds a nice touch, and again, it kind of creates that warm, cozy place that someone wants to come and sit down and really enjoy our food.
Well, it does, and it's got some great hunt scenes with the horses and the dogs and everything from boats and planes. So it really fits Lake Forest and kind of even bringing that old history of what Lake Forest was founded upon.
Right, that's certainly our goal. I mean, there's a lot of history in Lake Forest. It's been here a really long time, and it has a wonderful reputation, and we just kind of wanted to speak to that and remind people that this is the community that we live in. And just, I'm a big believer in the word familiar. I like it when things are familiar. And if you come to this room, even if you've never been here, it's going to feel familiar. It's going to feel warm. It's going to feel like you've been here before. And that's something we try to do conceptually throughout the whole restaurant.
I agree. Now, I know you host some special events upstairs, and obviously the terrace out back is just a wonderful, outside location as well for dining right off the square. Do you want to take a look upstairs and talk about that space for potential events?
That would be great. Let's go do that.
Mark, this is a great room.
Thank you. Yes, it is. It came out really, really good. This is the market room.
Okay.
It's an upstairs dining room. We have 3 upstairs dining rooms in the market house. This one holds about 20 to 22 people. The larger room we call the Shaw room holds up to 45.
Okay.
And the smaller one, the field room, holds roughly 15 to 18.
Great.
So the thing that we like about this room the most is that all the pictures on the wall are pictures of Market Square through its history. So you can see earlier ones where it's you can see one here where it's in construction, and ones where you've got cars from the 20s and 30s all the way up to the art fair from I think '67 or '68. So, and throughout the room there are lots of pictures of the square, and it just adds again that going back to that kind of familiar theme that when you see if you have dinner in here or join us in here, that you see things that you've seen a lot. So it adds that kind of familiar thing. The other thing that people want to spend a lot of time looking at is this large picture here, which is an aerial shot of Lake Forest.
Okay, yeah.
In 1953, and so inevitably people will sit in front of that picture and try to find their house or where they are or recognize. In fact, you can see where they were starting to build Deer Path Middle School and all that. So it's just people can't stop looking at that picture. It's a really it's just a kind of a fun thing. And again,
it's
it goes
definitely
back
a conversation piece.
Yep.
Yeah.
We certainly get that.
Well, what I love up here too is the exposed beams, and you've got all these pictures like you talked about, the ambience with the fireplace, and I'm sure this room is used often for private events. Can you tell me about what type of events have been successful here?
Between the three rooms, we've done a wide range of private events. We've done things from showers to rehearsal dinners to we have lots of business meetings or things where some company may want to entertain their clients or just take employees out and have a celebratory dinner or something like that in a kind of a privacy of a particular room. And so we do lots of that kind of business. We also occasionally have music upstairs. For example, this week we're having Terry Moran and the Good on Sunday band join us.
Okay.
So it's a versatile space, and we use it lots of different ways.
Great. Well, it's definitely people can book their event up here. As you mentioned, with the 3 different size rooms, it gives a lot of options to be with the quality food that we're looking forward to seeing in a little bit from Chef Dominic, as well as get the nice ambience of being right here in Lake Forest.
Good.
Great. Well, let's take a little spin through with the camera, and then let's head downstairs and meet the chef.
Let's do that.
Great.
Okay, right this way.
And behind you, this connected at one point, I think, to the bistro. Is that correct?
Right. This was actually how we, this used to be a couple things. This was the dining area for the bakery. And the bakery is something that we closed, and we're trying to reconcept that into something new, and hopefully something, some good idea will come up here next fall or whatever. In the meantime, we just needed another dining area because we had too often where in the evenings or stuff we were really busy, and we either had people upstairs or something like that, which we really didn't want. And so this is a great room because we could kind of recreate it in a way that it really feels like it's the rest of the restaurant. So we kind of took this room and brought it back into the restaurant, and again with the kind of the pictures and the lanterns and stuff. So again, it's got that familiar thing going on where even if you've never eaten here, you feel like you've been here before.
Well, I can just imagine sitting here watching the snow fall outside with a glass of wine and some delicious food. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in this space right here in Market Square?
Works out really well.
Great. Well, let's meet Chef, and then we're going to meet Larry as well, who's your general manager.
Yes. Let's go do both those things.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, Dominic, these certainly look wonderful as they're coming out here, and I'm excited to learn more about the food.
Thank you.
Wow, fabulous. Well, Dominic, first to start off, you are the executive chef here at the Market House. Let's start by talking about the items that you're presenting us today, and then we'll talk and learn a little bit more about you.
Sure.
So we'll start with this dish here on the end.
This dish here on the end is actually inspired by the Amadee Market that's directly across the street.
Okay.
That's one of the great joys of being here at Market House is that I can wander over there in the summer and see all the fresh produce that they have, and the salad was really inspired by all the fresh stuff that they have over there. So, in the wintertime, it's kind of an homage to the Amadees. We're using Florida produce right now for all this stuff, but once he comes back in May, I'm really looking forward to all the things that he has to work into our menus down here.
Fabulous. And what would you call this salad?
We call it the Amadee salad.
Okay, the Amadee salad, and it looks like it's got tomato, avocado.
Tomato, avocados, green beans, a little bit of whipped goat cheese,
Nice.
A balsamic cream reduction, and spiced almonds and arugula.
Perfect. And how about this dish here?
This is our play on pot roast.
Okay.
We try and take some of the original, comfort foods and put like a modern spin on them. So we use braised short rib, and then we have baby marble potatoes, mushrooms, carrots, and then it's a reduction of the braising liquid. and we cook all the vegetables in the braising liquid, so it gives it the feel that it's been in the crock pot, you know, all day.
Well, I think this is the dish that my husband had when we were here that he absolutely loved.
It's one of our more popular items.
Is it? Well, it's definitely a comfort food this time of year, and especially with this modern twist, how you have are these potatoes?
No, they're fried parsnips.
Fried parsnips. So that's certainly a creative twist in terms of the plating of the dish as well, which is great. And how about this one here? It looks like a tuna, maybe?
It's our tuna tartare. Pretty much the way our menu goes is that, you know, when people think of American food, it's not just, you know, meat and potatoes kind of thing. It's a collaboration of a bunch of different cultures, and I've had the pleasure of living on the East Coast and the Southwest, doing different types of cuisine in my career. So this is a little bit of my Asian influence on it. It's a soy, lemon, and rice wine vinegar dressing on #1 tuna with a little bit of avocado, a little bit of julienne cucumbers, scallions, and a wonton chip.
Fabulous. And down here, what is this delicious concoction that you have?
That is what Chicago Magazine voted in the top 50 sandwiches this year.
Really?
It is our whitefish sandwich. It's Lake Superior whitefish. It's lightly breaded, deep fried. There's a little salad underneath of roasted tomatoes, shallots, and basil. It's on a house-made bun, and it has a sweet chili dressing on it.
And how about your French fries?
House-made also.
Perfect. Everybody loves homemade French fries.
They're delicious.
And do you, what would you say would be one of your favorite dishes? Do you have one that's a favorite? I mean, obviously you're recreating all the time.
I kind of like them all. The fish sandwich, I kind of lean towards. I'm a sandwich guy.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's really good, but you know, I think all the food here at Market House is really good.
Excellent. Now, tell me a little bit about how you came to the Market House and your experience in the culinary world.
I was actually up in Milwaukee, and I got a phone call from Larry. Said he really thinks that I should talk to Mark and Carla. He told me a little bit about the space. I came down here, I checked it out. I think it was the space in general for me is a great venue because we can do a little bit of the American stuff and play around down here, a little bit more homey, you know, kind of family friendly, you know, and some spins on some classic dishes. And then we have the upstairs. We have MH Fish House, which is a little bit more refined, fine dining. It's seafood based, and it's kind of where I get to show off a little bit with some of my fancier techniques.
Yeah, and we're gonna take a look at that as well in a separate show. So we'll have you talk to us about those, your technique and the expertise that goes into all of seafood.
Sure.
One of the things I think it's great, and I'm learning here today, is this is a restaurant for families as well as for special events and even the corporate side. So it's really a fit for everybody in the Lake Forest community.
It is.
And on the North Shore as well. And looking at all these dishes, especially the ones you've selected for us, there's a pretty wide spread of taste and palate. So anyone from vegetarian to really wanting a comfort food to whatnot, you have a wide selection to meet everyone's taste. Great. And you also have had some pretty significant accomplishments in your life, have you not, in the cooking?
I have.
Let's talk a little bit about that. It's something to be proud of.
When I was in Milwaukee, I was nominated for the James Beard Award for Best Chef Midwest. I was the only Asian restaurant to get 4 stars by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And then just recently, like I mentioned earlier, Chicago Magazine Top 50 Sandwiches. And a couple weeks ago, I was nominated for the John Blanchet Award for Rising Chef Chicago. So
fabulous. Well, congratulations
Thank
to
you very
Chef
much.
Dominic. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And now we're going to get Larry over here to talk to us about the wine list and the
Perfect.
rest of the restaurant.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Larry, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Eileen.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed my experience so far with Mark and Dominic, and now I have a chance to meet you. And your role here as the general manager?
Correct.
Great. Let's hear a little bit of history on you in the restaurant world.
Oh, I'm a restaurant gypsy. I've
Okay.
been doing it for 30 years. Worked for a long time with Rich Melman, Let Us Entertain You, MK, Rainforest Cafe, the 9 Group. So I've
Okay,
been around
yeah.
a lot.
And you're obviously in the Chicago area.
Yes,
so you
in
live
the
here.
Chicago area.
Great.
Yeah, I live here.
And we've looked at this beautiful food. We've met with Chef Dominic and learned about his history.
Yes.
Larry, tell me what your experience brings to the Market House.
Well, I think that restaurants are very personal things for people that come in. And so what we're really trying to do here is we are really the epitome of a great neighborhood restaurant. I mean, that's what we do. So as you mentioned earlier, looking at Dom's food, I mean, we cater to a lot of different tastes. And so that's what we want to do. We really want to make it a personal experience. And that's what we do a little bit differently.
Great.
You know, we're more interested in listening to what our customers want, what it is that they want to eat, what it is that they want to drink, and accommodate them by offering things that other restaurants don't.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the wine list too.
Yes.
Because that comes along, I think, with a lot of the clientele in this area.
Yes.
And it's a nice compliment to the food.
It's a wonderful compliment to the food, and so we're very conscious of having food-friendly wines on the list. I think a lot of our clientele, they have cellars in their homes that we could not compete with. So the idea is that we really wanted to create very accessible wines in all price ranges, and we serve them by the quartino, which is a quarter of a glass.
Great.
As you can see, I already started on mine.
Okay.
So it's a real simple process for people. They know exactly how much they're getting. It's a little over a 6-ounce pour. So that makes it easier for them. And then it also gives us the opportunity to offer wines in all kinds of price range. And what we like to do is we like to find interesting wines from regions and grapes that people know, but not necessarily mainstream.
Perfect.
And of course, one of the nice advantages of being in Lake Forest is that there's a lot of people in the wine business here, and so we have a lot of great local connection. We have a lot of the Terlato wines on our list. Some of our reps that rep a number of different wines live here. And then, of course, we have the Friedemans, Brooks and Jessica, that make Dichotomy. This is a new venture for them, but they met at Lake Forest Country Day. Country Day. And so we're very excited to support the wine, not just because they're local, but because it's a Russian River Pinot Noir and a Russian River Chardonnay, and these are things that our customers would really like.
Absolutely.
So,
well, I think you've made a great point that there are a lot of Lake Foresters and Lake people in Lake Bluff that have a lot of extensive wine collections, but people shouldn't be intimidated by wine. So your offerings are of wide scale, affordable, maybe something they haven't had, and that they'll come back and enjoy with the food.
Absolutely.
Great.
And we like to, we really want to do the same thing with our spirit and our beer program as well.
Okay, let's talk about that.
We feature 2 beers from Lake Bluff Brewery.
Great.
We love that brewery, and we love their beer, and so do our customers. And most of the rest of our beer list is really locally driven. A lot of Chicago area and Midwestern beers. Of course, we have a few of the big boys up there, and we have Stella and Heineken and that kind of thing, but we really like to feature what's local and fresh and good.
And do you mentioned that in the menu here you have everything from your beers and cocktails and wine all in one. Can you talk about some of the spirits any classic cocktails that are really signature to the Market House?
Well, we started out, creating our own cocktails, but when you listen to your guests, what you find out is that people like to have things their own way. So we went away from that idea, and what we do is we just get the best spirits we can, the best mixers, and we make it exactly how they want it. People want their Manhattan done a certain way with a certain spirit. That's what we're here to do. So we want to give people a lot of options. Makes it simple for them, and we can easily take care of a lot of different tastes at the table.
Well, I can say that my husband thinks your bartender makes a good old-fashioned.
Oh, yes.
And he's hard to please coming from Wisconsin, especially when he makes his own.
And that is the classic Wisconsin drink,
It
right?
is. So it's good to know that something like that you can come here and customize to each person's taste.
Yeah. And that's really what a great neighborhood-driven restaurant should do.
Well, let's talk about your accessibility to reservations and your dining hours. So you're open for lunch and dinner?
We're 7 days a week, lunch and dinner.
Great.
We open at 11:30 every day, and the kitchen's open till 9 o'clock during the week. It's open till 10 on Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
And we serve straight through because, when you're dealing with with moms and dads, who
Yeah.
have odd hours, or we have a lot of business people in the neighborhood. Sometimes, 12 to 1 doesn't work for lunch, so
Right.
they can come in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and get the lunch menu, and we start the dinner menu at 4.
Wonderful. So you're on, do you have a Facebook page?
We're on Facebook,
Okay.
we're on
Twitter?
Twitter. You can find us on the web at themarkethouse.com.
Great.
It's really simple to remember,
Okay.
and that website will direct you pretty much wherever you need to go.
Excellent.
You can make reservations by calling us. You can go to our website and
Okay.
make them through OpenTable online.
Excellent. And I know OpenTable has a mobile app, so you can do it right from your phone, too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent.
Absolutely. We don't book the entire room. We do say certainly the bar is first come, first served. We want people to be impulsive and
Yeah.
just pop over because we are the neighborhood joint. But we do suggest on the busy nights, Friday and Saturday, people make reservations because we do
Excellent.
fill up fast.
Yeah, well, it's been busy when I've been here.
Yeah.
And I've certainly enjoyed really getting to know the restaurant as well, spending the time with the three of you today.
Well, thank you.
And learning about
It's
it.
our pleasure.
It's been a pleasure meeting
Thank
with
you
you,
so
Larry.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for watching Inside Lake Forest. As you know, today we've been visiting the Market House on the Square, and we've met with Mark, Dominic, and Larry to talk about the restaurant and what it offers. They do things a little bit differently here, and come see for yourself.